Did you know millions of older adults were told to take a baby aspirin every day to prevent heart attacks and strokes? It was routine, easy, familiar. But new research says aspirin may not be right for everyone. While it can thin the blood and help prevent clots, it also raises the risk of internal bleeding, especially as we age. So now, many are wondering, if aspirin isn't the answer anymore, what is? Today, we're exploring a natural option that could support your heart, protect your arteries, and do it without the common side effects of aspirin. It's backed by science, found in everyday food, and may offer even broader benefits than you'd expect. Let's take a closer look. Aspirin has been used for over 4,000 years, and for decades, doctors recommended a daily low-dose aspirin to prevent heart attacks and strokes. It works by thinning the blood, which helps reduce clot formation, the main cause of most heart-related events. But aspirin isn't risk-free. It can cause stomach bleeding, ulcers, and even bleeding in the brain, especially in adults over 60. In 2022, health guidelines changed. Experts warned that daily aspirin may do more harm than good for many older adults. That left a big question. If aspirin isn't safe for everyone, what's the alternative? To answer that, we need to understand how heart attacks really happen and what natural options might protect us without the risks. Let's talk about blood clots, because understanding them is key to protecting your heart and brain as you age. Most people think heart attacks and strokes happen because of cholesterol slowly clogging the arteries. That's only partly true. In reality, about 80% of heart attacks and strokes are triggered by a blood clot, a sudden blockage that stops blood flow. It's not always a slow buildup. Sometimes, it's like a switch flipping. Here's how it works. Inside your blood, you have platelets, tiny cell fragments that help stop bleeding when you get hurt. They're like nature's emergency responders. If you cut your finger, they rush to the site and stick together to form a clot and seal the wound. That's a good thing. But inside your arteries, platelets can become a problem, especially if the artery wall is already inflamed or damaged by high blood pressure, smoking, or high blood sugar. Imagine your arteries as a long, smooth tunnel. If the inside of that tunnel gets rough or cracked, platelets treat it like an injury. They rush in, stick together, and form a clot. If that clot blocks the flow of blood to your heart or brain, it can cause a heart attack or stroke in seconds. This is why clotting matters more than many realize. And here's something else. Clotting risk isn't constant throughout the day. Studies show nearly half of heart attacks happen between 6 a.m. and noon. That's when stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline are highest. These hormones make your blood more likely to clot. It's one reason why many heart events happen in the early morning, right after waking up. This also helps explain broken heart syndrome. After a traumatic loss, stress hormones spike, increasing clotting and the risk of a sudden heart event, even in someone without major blockages. So when we talk about prevention, it's not just about lowering cholesterol. It's about keeping blood flow smooth and reducing unnecessary clotting, especially as we age. And that's where the right nutrients can make a real difference, safely and naturally. If aspirin is no longer the safest choice for thinning the blood, what's the alternative? One of the most researched natural options is something you may already be familiar with: omega-3 fatty acids. These healthy fats are found in certain fish and oils, and they've been shown to reduce blood clot risk, not by forcing the blood to thin, but by gently supporting the body's natural balance. Here's how it works. Omega-3s help keep your platelets from becoming too sticky. Instead of clumping together and forming a clot, they stay more flexible, allowing blood to flow freely through your arteries. This effect is similar to aspirin, but without the added risk of bleeding in the stomach or brain. That's one of the reasons researchers have been studying omega-3s for decades. But not all omega-3s are the same. The two most important types are called EPA and DHA. Of the two, EPA is the real star when it comes to heart health. It's been shown to reduce inflammation, stabilize plaque in the arteries, and lower the chance of clot formation. In a large study of adults with heart risk, those who took purified EPA daily had 25% fewer heart events, including strokes and heart attacks. That's a significant difference. And it's not just theory, it's measurable protection backed by real science. What makes EPA especially interesting for older adults is that it also affects stress hormones. It helps reduce levels of cortisol and adrenaline, the very same hormones that spike in the morning and raise clotting risk. So while aspirin works by blocking the clotting process after it begins, EPA helps your body avoid triggering that process in the first place. And unlike aspirin, it comes with side benefits, not side effects. For many older adults, omega-3s are a gentle, natural way to support heart health, improve circulation, and reduce risk, without turning to medication first. So how exactly does EPA, the key omega-3 fatty acid, work inside your body? To understand this, let's go back to your blood vessels. Inside every artery is a thin, delicate lining called the endothelium. It's like the skin inside your blood vessels, and it plays a critical role in keeping blood flowing smoothly. When this lining becomes inflamed or damaged from high blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, or aging, it sends out a signal. Platelets respond to that signal by sticking to the area, forming a clot. Here's where EPA steps in. EPA helps calm this inflammation. It reduces the chemical signals that tell platelets to rush in. That means fewer clots form unnecessarily, and your blood keeps flowing more freely. But it does even more. Platelets need certain fats, like arachidonic acid, to produce the sticky substances that form clots. EPA actually competes with that fat and takes its place. It's like replacing the glue in a repair kit with something much gentler. The platelets are still there, but they're less reactive, less likely to clump, and less likely to cause a dangerous blockage. EPA also strengthens the endothelium itself. It helps that inner lining stay smooth and flexible, so there's less damage in the first place. That lowers your risk of clotting before it even starts. Even more impressive, EPA lowers triglycerides, reduces arterial stiffness, and helps regulate blood pressure. All of these effects protect your heart and brain over time. Think of EPA as a peacekeeper in your bloodstream, keeping the environment calm, balanced, and responsive without overreacting. Unlike aspirin, which forcefully blocks clotting chemicals, EPA works with your body's natural systems. That's why it's better tolerated and safer for long-term use, especially in older adults. If you're over 60 and thinking about long-term heart health, EPA offers a gentle but powerful way to support your circulation, not just today, but for the years ahead. Next, we'll explore the best food source of EPA and why one traditional oil may offer even more heart protection than standard fish oil alone. If you're looking for the most powerful natural source of EPA, one food stands above the rest: cod liver oil. Cod liver oil doesn't just provide EPA, it combines it with two nutrients that are essential for artery health as we age: vitamin A and vitamin D. Let's start with the omega-3s. A single teaspoon of cod liver oil contains a rich supply of EPA, along with DHA. These help reduce inflammation, keep your blood flowing smoothly, and lower your risk of clots, just like we discussed earlier. But cod liver oil goes further. It also contains vitamin A in its active form, retinol. This vitamin supports the repair of the inner lining of your arteries, the endothelium, helping it stay strong and less prone to injury or plaque buildup. Vitamin A also has anti-inflammatory properties, which may help slow down the development of atherosclerosis, the hardening and narrowing of arteries. Then there's vitamin D, which is especially important after age 60. Vitamin D helps improve the flexibility of your arteries and reduces arterial stiffness, a common issue in older adults. It also supports the production of nitric oxide, which relaxes blood vessels and lowers blood pressure. When combined, EPA, vitamin A, and vitamin D create a powerful trio for protecting your heart and brain. Cod liver oil is also easy to find, often sold in liquid or capsule form. Just make sure you're choosing a wild-caught and purified source to avoid toxins. For older adults, adding a small daily dose of cod liver oil may be one of the most efficient and natural ways to support heart health, with benefits that go far beyond what aspirin can offer. When it comes to protecting your heart and arteries, most people focus on fats and cholesterol, but too often overlooked nutrients play a quiet, powerful role behind the scenes: vitamin A and vitamin D. Let's start with vitamin A, specifically the active form called retinol. Retinol supports the repair and maintenance of the thin inner lining of your arteries, known as the endothelium. This lining helps regulate blood flow, pressure, and clotting. When it's damaged, you're more vulnerable to inflammation and plaque buildup. Vitamin A acts like a repair crew, reinforcing that lining, reducing inflammation, and helping keep your blood vessels smooth and resilient. Next is vitamin D, which becomes even more important as we age. Low levels of vitamin D are linked to higher blood pressure, stiff arteries, and increased risk of heart disease. One reason is that vitamin D helps produce nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels, improving circulation and reducing pressure on the heart. In fact, in a review of over 1,000 compounds, vitamin D was among the most effective at protecting the endothelium, the very area where most artery damage begins. Together, vitamins A and D don't just support overall health, they directly protect your cardiovascular system. And when they're paired with EPA, like in cod liver oil, their impact is magnified. This combination may not replace medication, but for many older adults, it offers a safer, more natural way to strengthen the heart from the inside out. If you're considering adding cod liver oil to your routine, start with a small daily dose. Typically, 1 teaspoon per day is enough for most adults over 60. This provides a healthy amount of EPA, vitamin A, and vitamin D without overdoing it. Look for products that are wild-caught, molecularly distilled, and clearly labeled for purity. This helps reduce your exposure to heavy metals or other contaminants that can be present in some fish-based supplements. Cod liver oil can be taken with food, preferably a meal that contains fat, to improve absorption and reduce any risk of stomach discomfort. If you're on blood-thinning medications, including aspirin or warfarin, speak with your doctor first. Cod liver oil also thins the blood slightly, so it's important to avoid doubling up without guidance. And remember, more isn't always better. Very high doses of vitamin A or D can be harmful over time. Used in moderation and with care, cod liver oil can be a simple, effective step toward protecting your heart, brain, and circulation naturally and safely. Let's take a moment to recap what we've covered. Many people over 60 take aspirin daily to protect their heart. But as we've seen, it's not the only option, and it's not always the safest one. We now understand that most heart attacks and strokes are caused by clots, not just cholesterol. Aspirin helps by thinning the blood, but it comes with real risks, like stomach ulcers and bleeding in the brain. Fortunately, nature offers alternatives. Omega-3 fatty acids, especially EPA, reduce clotting and inflammation without the side effects of aspirin. They also help stabilize plaque in your arteries, lowering your risk of sudden blockages. Then there's cod liver oil, a single food source that combines EPA with vitamin A and vitamin D. Together, these nutrients support healthy blood flow, reduce stiffness in your arteries, and strengthen the protective lining inside your blood vessels. It's a natural approach backed by solid research and real-world results. If you're over 60 and thinking about heart health, talk to your doctor about whether cod liver oil is right for you. And if you're already taking aspirin, don't make changes without medical advice. At PulseWise, we believe that small, informed choices, like the foods you eat, can make a lasting difference in your health. If this video gave you something useful, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone you care about. Because staying healthy isn't about fear, it's about understanding your options and choosing what's right for your body. Thank you for watching. Stay well, and we'll see you in the next video.